Hello, hope I'm doing well. And today we're at the Spring Festival Fiasco Lunar New Year's event. Got some new Dragon Emperor ships. We have the first Dragon Emperor ship that is innate SSR from the Gacha Pool, which is cool. She's a battle cruiser, so new stuff for the backline for them. They're even lacking in that department, having to settle with seaplane carriers and destroyers that can go in the backline. So I got some more interesting stuff now. So first up is the new SSR, Haun Ch'ang, who's a battle cruiser, and her first skill is RNG. So I'm kind of on that. I'm getting a similar vibe as a Wari. At the start of the battle, she picks between your Vanguard and your main fleet. It's in one of those two, and every ship in whatever fleet has been chosen will get a buff or a secondary buff. It's RNG. So if the Vanguard is chosen, applies one of the following buffs at random. One, increases firepower, torpedo, and reload by 8%, or you can apply the buff of decreases damage taken from enemies by 10%. So either more offensive ability or more defensive ability. And her main fleet buffs are similar, where if the main fleet's chosen, increases firepower, aviation, and accuracy by 8%, or increases their AA by 10% and decreases damage taken from enemies by 8%. Get more offense versus more defense, and it's just kind of RNG, so a little less reliable. Her second skill, a bit more of a fan of, increase her reload by 10%. That's nice. She's a battle cruiser, so she's shooting fast anyway, hopefully. This ship ignores the penalties of the out of ammo debuff. That's really good for stages that are long, later in the game, where you can't pick up ammo, or if you're doing an auto map, automatic search function doesn't pick up ammo for you. This can be helpful, and you're not having to use a gear like Bismarck has to. That's cool. I like that. And every 15 seconds, she got a special barrage she can fire. And if there's another Dragon Emperor ship in the fleet at the start of the battle, makes that barrage guaranteed. So probably run her with Yatsen. I was hoping that she would be more of a faction buffer to pair with Yatsen. It did not turn out that way. But the second skill I quite like, and you can always throw them with Yatsen, and Yatsen makes all the Dragon Emperor ships a lot better. But she's a battle cruiser, so that does help with hardman requirements, which is always nice. Next up is Cheon, probably my favorite design out of this bunch. She's a light cruiser. She does not have an anti-air gun, so be aware of that. She has, for gear, light cruiser guns, destroyer guns, and torpedoes. So be aware of that. No anti-air gun for her. She has an anti-air stat, but no anti-air gun. And her stats overall, not the best. She is an elite, but they are kind of even low for that. But she gets some interesting skills. The first skill, for all things, benefits bestowed, increases her own evasion by 10%. That's nice. So you get more of off tank just based off that. When the battle starts, if there are other Dragon Emperor ships in your fleet, increases all your ship's damage dealt by 5%, and increase your Dragon Emperor ship's damage dealt by a further 5%. So your Dragon Emperor ships are also getting a 10% buff just from her hanging out there, which is cool. Pair that with Yatsen, who I believe also gives a either 5 or 10% buff. That's a nice, just flat extra damage buff. That's really cool. Stats are kind of low, but I'm thinking run Xion with Yatsen and then one of the missile destroyers in the middle. And that seems like a pretty good combo there. And for her second skill, for safe returns, Schemes Shaped. Every 8 seconds, she fires a special barrage with 50% chance to activate. If the barrage does not activate, instead increases the ship's firepower and torpedo by 10%, and this buff for not activating can stack up to 3 times, so up to 30% buff. And then once per battle, when the ship's HP falls below 30% as a result of damage taken, restores 10% of its max HP, and deploys a barrier that lasts 15 seconds, equal up to 10% of the ship's max HP. So, got some survivability. It just, stats definitely going to be harder in the long run. If she ends up being a candidate for a retrofit next year or sometime in the future, as many of the Dragon Emperor ships have been retrofitted, then I can see some really good potential. She got the skills, and that seems to be a common thing with elites, but generally they really have good skills, and then just their stats kind of let them down. Torpedo's okay, but firepower really lacking. Really good design. It just, I think her skills are good, but her stats will hold her back in the long run. Next up is Lung Wu. She is an elite destroyer with a giant spoon, and her and her sister Hugh Penn are very similar. Just have slight variation in their skills. We'll talk about them individually. First skill, Dragon Stance. Every 3 seconds, perform a special attack. So I'm thinking a lot of spam with these special attacks with these two. Every 5 times this attack hits an enemy, restores 3% HP for the ship in your fleet with the lowest percent HP remaining. and this can activate up to 3 times per battle. That's nice little survivability. With the Dragon Emperor ships, they're often very tanky when running together. Just my experience running Yatsen, Ping Hai, and Ning Hai is just they were the Great Wall, and so they didn't really have to worry about too much damage taken. But this could help you out if you want to run a Dragon Emperor fleet with a healer, so that's nice. And our second skill, Delectable Delicacies. 1 second after the ship fires with torpedoes, fire another wave of torpedoes. The torpedoes fired are the same ones as she is equipped, so it's not a special one that scales, it's just what she has. So she has double torpedo, essentially, with that's guaranteed. She also increases her own torpedo and evasion by 50% and decreases her damage taken by 30%. So yeah, nice little healer. There's potential for that for a little longer fights. Once again, just stats pretty low. So nothing too spectacular. The heal is always appreciated. I always like ships with heals. And she's got a funny big spoon. I haven't looked at her quotes yet, but hopefully she's got some funny lines. Next up is Hugh Penn, our last gotcha ship. So she is a skilled Tiger Thrasher, very similar to Lung Wu. Every 1 second, perform special attack, and every 5 times the attack hits an enemy, buffs Hugh Penn's firepower by 5%, and can stack up to 3 times. So, nice little buff. Firepower is not good to start with, so it's a nice buff, but just scaling probably not be the best on it. And then her second skill, Gourmet Delivery. 1 second after she fires torpedoes, fire a second wave of torpedoes. Scales these are the same torpedoes that she's equipped, much like her sister. Also increases her speed and evasion by 15% and decreases her damage taken by 30%. So, very similar between Hugh Penn and Lung Wu. I think I prefer Lung Wu's ability just a little bit better, but if you're not have to worry about healing, then you can run this one. And for the new free ship, Fei Yuen, so you get her just by logging in on the first day of, I think it's called Yuen's Big Adventure or something like that. And she's got a very interesting skin where she's hung up to a clothesline. That was shocking, to say the least, when I saw that. So, stats, same boat as the other destroyers. Not the best, but her skills, Lady Yuen's Grand Adventure. 10 seconds after the battle starts, and every 15 seconds after that, goes on an adventure for 5 seconds. I don't know what that means, go on an adventure. Does she temporarily leave the battle for 5 seconds? Does she go into a special state like the Gridman collab characters? I'm not too sure. But depending on the results of the adventure and how it's dictated, if it's good results or it's bad, I have no idea. She applies 1 random buff to a ship in your fleet for 8 seconds and 1 debuff to a random enemy for 8 seconds. What are the buffs? Not sure. Hopefully it's something good. I don't imagine it'll be too crazy if it's just 1 buff and it only lasts 8 seconds. And then once per battle, if the adventure fails or the ship falls below 50% HP as a result of damage taken, buffs her speed and evasion by 5 for speed and 5% for evasion, and decreases her damage taken by 10% until the battle ends. So, very dictated by her adventure, whatever that entails. And her second skill, Inkscape of Dancing Clouds. When the battle starts, increases torpedo by 20%. And if there is no Dragon Emperor ship in your fleet, increases ship's damage dealt by 10%. So, pretty cool. And every 20 seconds, fire special barrage, and the barrage damage scales off the skill level. And if there's any non DD Dragon Emperor ship in your fleet, this barrage is improved. So you'll probably be running Yatsen. Basically, a lot of these are all buffed by Yatsen very well. That little selection ticket, I would say if you don't have Yatsen and you want to run a Dragon Emperor fleet, there you go. So we'll go over the event hub and all that, but the main focus of the event is the raids. What you can do is you have various difficulties, and there should be an custom challenge and EX. So if you're around for the Gorizia event, the most recent Sardinia event, it was called Reflections in the Oasis, something like that. Same thing. You get X amount of free attempts per day. It should be 15 for each difficulty. You get rewards. And for whatever reason, the reward is the Vittorio gun, which is interesting choice. As you complete stage, you get points. And as everyone in all the servers complete stages, this gauge will go down. So we're getting close to the 75% complete stage. Make sure you complete at least one battle. I think that's a requirement. That way you can get those rewards later on. And I don't think you have to have a certain score to get these. You just have to have participated at least once. Yeah, very similar to the Gorzy event. It's pretty fun, pretty easy. The custom challenges I enjoyed that in the Gorzy event, just because it's like, oh, okay. You get to pick and choose what debuffs you want, and not just, a flat stat check. You can say, okay, I want to do something that debuffs my evasion or something like that. So yeah, I like mixing up a little bit with this event. So it's not quite the Frostfall event in terms of new mechanics. They've done stuff like this in the past, but at least now you don't have to like click a hidden tile next to Essex's left ear or something like it was at one point in time. That was bizarre. But yeah, so fun little event, easy to do. And once you clear a stage, you can go and just auto sortie. So yeah, so auto repeat, and you can do your 15, so you don't have to worry about manually clicking over. That's a nice quality life update they've made in recent time. Yeah, that is the main focus, the big kahuna, as some might say, of this event. So overall for the new ships, should you pull? If you like the ship's designs, I'm thinking these are more of long-term investments. It seems the Dragon Emperor ships are, where you wait and see if they get a good retrofit later on, and they have. They've the missile destroyers have been really good. I didn't expect that. So yeah, Lung Wu and Qian, probably my two favorites in terms of skills. Qian in terms of design as well. But I guess we will take a look at the rest of the event. So as you've been seeing, there's the little event hub here, fireworks. After you do stages, after chapter 3 or joint operation stages, so this is the main event part. We'll take a look at earlier, the raid type deal. You get the firework stuff, and then you can unlock. So boom, boom, complete the firework, and phase 1 of 7. So after you get enough phases, you get rewards. Make sure you get these. You can get gems from them, so it's always nice to have free gems. So you need 14 fireworks total. And is it 350 per firework? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, select. There you go. Nice little gems. That's pretty easy. Just, you know, I'm not sure how much you have to really grind for it, but you get TN, is that her name? Is that what her name is? Hang on. The mission ship from that. So there you go. If you didn't get it previously. Manage your resort. This is where you can open your envelopes. So you can get various rewards, including, most importantly, gems. You also get a skin for Fun Shu or Fu Shun. Where is it? Right there. Get this one for free. And you can also get the Wakatsuki skin for free, which is this one is new. There you go. We have to get X amount of those, which just follow the mission, should be good to go. The drawing book, you'll get various paint from completing missions, which is spend oil. If you don't have a whole lot of time to grind, and Shan is very good after her retrofit, so definitely recommend grabbing her if you don't have her already. Let's say, okay, I don't have a whole lot of time to grind during this time of the year. What you can do is it's spend oil. It does not say spend oil in sorties, so the cheat way, and this applies for any of the good old drawing book events, it's like with the Nemi skin, what you can do is you can just buy a bunch of dorm food, and there we go, and it should pop up. There we go. Spend oil. So there's a little speedrun strat. Obviously, it doesn't open all of it at once, so you can't just do it all day today. But later on, if you get towards the end of the event and you just want, okay, I just want to finish it out real quick. There you go. You can just buy some dorm food. Got a retrofits, so we gotta complete missions to get the item for Taiwan. And her skills kind of seems like more defensive oriented, and wants to have a full fleet of 6, which is fine. I usually do. And the Chenhai one, the seaplane carrier that's turned into an actual carrier, she gets actual plane, which is nice, but just I don't think she'll be terribly good. Or is she? Chenhai, or she is. She does get a new skill where she. Let's look at it once maxed out. Extra evasion, good. When she launches an airstrike, it's an additional airstrike, cool. With monochrome shells, and they just count towards her first skill, which if X amount gets hit, then and X colors get hit, it applies a different debuff to the enemy. It is a very short debuff though, so be aware of that. But it's a nice retrofit art. That string, that string there is holding all the hopes and dreams up, so it's working. What else we got? Got Fei Yun's adventure. Just daily login, so don't have to worry too much about this. Just make sure you collect it. And then Fun Shun's Adventure 5. So it's just, I believe you have some buttons you can push. Let's just look at it real quick. Yeah, so you get two buttons. You can jump, or you can punch. And you got a health bar, so just be aware of that. I think as you kill enemies, yeah, you get that gauge increase, and once a gauge hits a certain level, you can. It looks like these, you have to jump over those too. Get a special attack. Oh no, we lost. Be aware you can just enter and then exit immediately, and it still counts as an attempt. Get Fun Shun. Not as good as On Shun. She's not good retrofit like her sister, but I think that's all. Got skins we can look at. So, dynamic skin for Haun Ch'ang for mass changes based on her expression, which is cool. This one, L2D. I like this one. I think this one's a bit funny because they're worried about running into each other. This one's quite nice. Nice too. Inflicted on this one, her default, which I like better. Elbing one, pretty nice. And then this Fei Yuen, very questionable. So we're gonna put that away. So yeah, I think that wraps it. Actually, no, that's not everything. There's some more stuff I want to talk about. The Spring Festival Invitation. And you have some options. You can get Taiho, Yatsen, Huajia, Shanghai, Taiwan, Jarbitis, and Bristol. I would say if you don't have Yatsen, definitely grab her. After that, Bristol is very useful for the challenge mode. She debuffs enemies' evasion. And after that, collection. So if you don't have Taiho yet, you want to get Taiho. If you want to get Charbitis, you can get Charbitis. Chenhai's there if you want to get her and do a retrofit. If you didn't get Huaja, I believe this is her there. She's also a light aircraft carrier from last year. You can get her here and not have to pull in the gacha pool. Because all the last year's characters have been added permanently. So Theseus, Huaja, and the Northern Parliament girl. I believe that is everything now. So thank you for watching. Hope you found it useful. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.